Boom! ECLIPSO! Yeah, I know, I lied. I said that Omega Men would be either episode number 1 or number 2, and this is obviously not that. So as I said before, boom! ECLIPSO! The Darkness Within. I had 2 of this issue growing up, and I think it's the publisher's way of helping you to really share in the evil that is ECLIPSO, because the ones that I had this plastic gem on the cover, which makes shoving it into a long box and putting other comics up against it kind of a nightmare. It'd be like, hey, here's my long box of comics, and oh, there's ECLIPSO sitting on top. But anyway, I got a lot of pictures and not a lot of information with this one. This channel is basically going to be a scathing indictment for why comics should have switched over to a literary model and just published in like thick books long ago. So let's jump into this. I'll give you a brief overview of the comic from what I remember and what I can make sense out of. Then I'll try to explain an overall that I had to look up online, and we'll go from there. Hey, kids! So the book opens with these 2 Indiana Jones types heading into this jungle. I actually really like this temple. And inside they find a giant black diamond, and that face right there means that obviously nothing but good can come from its discovery. Well, hey, future episode spoiler. Meanwhile, on the moon. So Valor, who I was referring to as fake Superman while reading this, flies over the moon and finds a crater that can't be reached by sunlight. Within this crater is ECLIPSO's fortress in which he is imprisoned. So naturally, Valor goes to investigate and unwittingly frees the incarnation of the wrath of God and the angel of vengeance that turned evil. There he is. Good move, fake Superman. Since Valor is in ECLIPSO's sanctum, he's able to possess the superhero, despite the fact that his heart is so pure. This experience shows ECLIPSO that he's able to possess superheroes, and thus begins his plot for world domination. Today, as it would say if my thumb wasn't blocking the top left corner, we have Dr. Bruce Gordon ruminating on his past, how he got scratched by a demon, which led to the creation of ECLIPSO, and trying to figure out how to destroy ECLIPSO ultimately, and he believes that the answer lies with the black diamond that we saw at the beginning. He has a shard in a petri dish that seems to be tugging in specific directions like a compass. A compass that points to murder. ECLIPSO basically takes over people's bodies whenever they get angry, as long as they're in possession of one of the black shards. And his master plan is to take over random people like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando here to lure out superheroes which he can then possess. So if you were a supervillain with the ability to possess other heroes, who would you start with?
It's Superman!
Oh, also, ECLIPSO can create rage monsters and remain on the moon. Superman's getting beat up because a rage monster is made out of magic. Dr. Gordon saves the day with his UV flashlight because sunlight banishes ECLIPSO, and we roll into the end. And thus begins a crossover event that spans different issues with different heroes, and I hate it. And don't get me wrong, I like a good gimmick to get you to buy comics. I'm the guy that bought maybe 2 issues of all of the Blackest Night comics, the main line, just to get the power rings. But when you divvy up the story between a random assortment of comics, that drives me insane. But I get it, there is a thrill in the hunt to find every single issue, and oh god, just collect it in one book for me, please. I was actually getting really into this comic, but looking at this list here, this nonsense list of comics that I would have to get to in order to read it, I'll probably never follow through. I really like ECLIPSO as a villain, but I think this is where it's going to end. But I did actually wander into my local comic shop and randomly pull out another issue, this one right here, out of the dollar box. I just got it. I haven't really read it. I was just flipping through it, and here's a couple of images that caught my eye, like Superman beating the living tar out of Lobo. And without even reading this page, this guy Ralph and I had the exact same thought, which is pretty funny. From what I've seen, the story continues. A bunch of heroes get taken over. Batman, I think Joker does too. He-Man over here. And then one can assume that they overcome and win the day and, banish ECLIPSO again. I don't know. I didn't really look too much further into it. And that's ECLIPSO. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it if you want to go through the hassle of trying to locate every single issue from, all the different lines. Maybe one day DC will put out a collected omnibus of the entire thing. Maybe they already have. In my searching, I couldn't find anything, just listings for the issues. But yeah, I like him as a villain. But did we learn anything from this comic that we could apply to our own science fiction comic? I don't really think so. There's a lot of like side hatching. I guess it's called graying when you go from black to thick lines to thin lines to try and show the form of something. I might be able to use that in the future. But that's really it. The artwork is really good. Credit goes to these guys. And yeah, that's it. Alright, guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.